I am surprised that we are surprised. You see, it's very simple to explain what's going on in this country. You know, when people leave their homes or houses, Luos distinguish between the two. When you leave your house and you are going to serve the public, what is it you are going to do that day? That's what ails this country. People don't leave their houses to go and work for this country. They leave their houses to go and scheme how to make money. Yes. So you spend the entire year, January to December, as a top civil servant, as a cabinet secretary, as a principal secretary, as a director of this or the other, as a member of parliament, scheming how to steal from the public. So there will be no time left for constructive thinking that can drive this country to some level.
Okay.
And that's why you should not be surprised that as a sporting nation, recognize the whole world, we are not making anything out of it. I conducted some research that ended into ranking universities in terms of sports. I was surprised that the whole of Western region belt, there isn't a single university, and there are so many, with a standard swimming pool. Not even one. Look here, what are we talking about? So we celebrate our heroes. You meet these fellows, I meet them. Nobody even knows they are there. In other countries, they are recognized. In Russia, to be an artist is to be like a god. Here, to this lady, the unfortunate incident, we must be happy that finally the bodies were retrieved to help the family bring this thing to some closure and to give their loved ones some decent send-off. But there are two things you need to remember. One, these two bodies were retrieved because of the power of social media. So anybody in politics who is going to underrate media is going to do it at their own peril going forward. Joho said it. There are many cars down there. Nobody has bothered about them. This was retrieved because of the public outcry and because of the sustained onslaught on this by social media
and mainstream media.
But the last thing I want to say, which I said, the last thing I want to say, which I said before, the last thing is this: a lot of these problems would not be there if we had the right men and women for every single job we have. I talked about the Lamu women MP. She said, why are you bringing people to the Navy, to the ferry, to the Coast Guard who are seeing water for the first time in their life? We have our children here who dive 30 feet without even 30 meters without any gear.
Yes.
I said that before.
Yes, you said last week.
When we are hiring people, please, we must know that some of these people we are hiring will finally save somebody's life. But it's important.
But also, Ken, maybe just to add on that topic, we should not, I agree with Professor Manyora that there may have been some people who have never seen more water than a basin Karai and who are involved in this whole scenario. But I must also commend us because of the fact that it was a Kenyan solution, you know. It is our Navy. We must be proud of that fact because at some point we seem to be so preoccupied about getting help from elsewhere. So much as there was collaboration and much as it took very long, I am very happy of the fact that this is actually a Kenyan solution. But also, maybe also, and as Professor has said very clearly, we need also to interrogate our universities. Because when every one of us is doing politics and we are becoming celebrity politicians, you know, politics are glorified here, what are our universities doing in terms of thinking for long-term solutions? Has any university professor in this country written about what makes our athletes perform better than others and document that, the research? Has any, do we have maritime studies that, you know, try to create long-term solutions? Because these kind of knee-jerk, reactions, Ken, are the ones that have a problem. And let me tell you why I'm saying that. I was privileged to give a public lecture at Catholic University. And I thought I was going to engage with the intellectuals there on Friday. But they couldn't even ask me a single question. So that then the problem of our universities is that they are no longer populated with faculty and learners in pursuit of intellectual rigor and discovery, but daytime careerists, evening moonlighters, and students whose goal is to get that piece of paper in order to impress parents and employers. This is the essence of an academic pandemic.
Say so.
Isaac Maura.
Let me come to this.
Yes.
You know, what Kipchoge did.
My colleagues will, I won't take things in a common. My colleagues will tell me, how could you
allow Maura to say that?
I'll do it on your behalf.
You are also with us, please.
Yes, I
Allow
got
me,
it.
yeah.
Yes.
That will be asked. How could you allow Manyora to say such a thing?
Yeah.
This country has very serious scholars. International scholars. I don't want to name them. You know them. Serious scholars. The problem is, do we really value education in this country?
Okay.
Do we fund education in this country? Do you know how much Germany gives for research as per ratio of GDP? Do you know how much successful countries put into research? My friend, what do we do? Do you know how much we give for research? Don't blame scholars in this country.
Okay.
Let me say, you know, to me, as Professor Manyora said, I keep getting surprised all the time. Basics about Kipchoge, what he did, nobody has ever done. It was a great success. Kenya was put in the world map even more than it has. But to me, the message that comes out is not just for Kenya, it is for Africa. We have the potential. We can do it. But what are the issues? Do we focus? What you see about Kipchoge is there was focus, he was focused, single-minded on what he wanted to do. But even if we have people who are focused, even if they were scientists, do we create a system that supports them? No. Okay. Now look at what Ineos, is it Ineos? The system that Ineos created around Kipchoge, all that system around him, the people that were with him, where he was staying, they even looked at the suns, they even looked at the weather, where he would be, what would the weather be like. They looked at all that.
Terrain
And rain were looked at. That is science that was put in place. There was focus. Do we as a continent, I don't even want to talk about Kenya, do we as a continent invest on potentials that we know, the talents that we know are there? We don't. Even as politicians, we actually make them think we're the most important people, while the scientists actually know that we are going to be wrong because we are going against nature. And they just fold their hands and
because
keep
no
quiet.
one will listen to
yeah,
them.
no one will listen
No one
to
is
them.
going to
So
listen to the
for
professionals.
Africa, Kipchoge said, Africa, you can do it. Create focus, create systems, and invest.
Okay.
There's no way. And then when you come to the Navy, these two things have shown the same thing to Africa.
Invest.
Yeah. Now, in the Navy, again, you have the ferry going there every time. Vehicles have gone in there. How could it take even, say, 5 minutes before somebody other than a swimmer is moving? I was surprised, and I'm now more scared, that there could be no speedboats that are actually sitting there, waiting there. When you look at beaches in other countries, there are beach guards that are sitting there. If there's somebody's drowning, you see speedboats going. They are not there. It's not that we can't think about them. And then, when it had happened, social pressure, social media pressure, but there was a lot of trial and error. I didn't get the impression that people quickly sat down and said, what we have is this. I was even surprised that it is at that time that people are trying to know what the terrain under that place is. That is our main thoroughfare for everything. And the Navy is next. My expectation that they would have known that terrain, they would have the map of the underground. When this something sinks here, where is it likely to be? And again, to get even some foreigner saying, I can do it in 2 hours, then we bring him in, it fails. Eventually, in my mind, what really made the difference is that equipment that was taken underground. People start diving down, looking at that water to see with their eyes in this 21st century. Even if we don't have the equipment, I would have expected people in the Navy, there are some people who, so in this situation, the kind of equipment we need is this. We don't have it here, but we can get it from there. And so it is a great thing that it has happened. But it's again showing us, is Africa living in the current world, looking at what are the physical realities, the scientific realities, so that politics can harness this for the good of the people. Our politics is serving an end that I don't know. We talk of the preparedness. I don't know, at least in the coalition government, there was something we were calling National Operation Center, which actually involved the army, involved the police, involved, even health, because whenever you have a disaster, health is a big issue. And you have to know when something happens, who is the first person? Because what you want to go there, do the thing, create order, give information, get things going. That didn't seem to me organized. So it's a great thing that has happened, but it should have happened earlier.
Okay.
Now, about science and politics. The whole of the physical world is science. There's nothing else. And those people, when scientists speak or professionals speak, even when they're economists, they are not telling you their views. So what we do often as politicians is think they are their views, we browbeat them because we have the numbers. But they sit back because they know eventually what we are telling them is going to happen, whether they like it or not.
Yeah.
And then Manyora said something. I've been around for quite some time, and I saw the coalition government, I even saw the Moi government, and I'm seeing this government. Between the coalition government and what I'm seeing now seems to be business approach to governance. There's this belief that if business is thriving and the business people are doing well, that it will eventually trickle down and improve systems. What I actually saw during the coalition government was a public good approach, so that the business would then would facilitate the public good.
Okay.
So that business does not become the driving force. The public good is the driving force, but then it generates business, with the business in particular. So the three things have told us systems that we have to look at.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen,
I think, Ken,
we need to finish that.
Decorate.
Yes.
You know, 20th is coming, and there were calls that we should not celebrate. I think we still should celebrate the Navy team that actually did it. Whichever way, you know, they need encouragement. Those are the things we are talking about can be done.
Yes,
but going forward, I think they should be heroes on that day. Because, you know, we have some of these risks that normally don't make a lot of sense to Kenyans.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Let me agree with that. When individuals keep, okay, you know, the people in the Navy do things that are great, sure, you need to celebrate them. Because there's another thing, another problem. Many of us look at what they are going to, look at our young people. Even when the people are getting employed, they come to us. Can you get something for this young man to earn a living from? So you get him a job. The guy doesn't need to work. He was given something to earn a living. Yes. So why do you want him to work? We must develop a culture where you want to work.
Yeah.
And that for that work, you'll be remunerated. Decorate them, but systems that will support them must be built.
I need to move on from this, Senator.
Last comment.
Yes.
I think Dr. Jikali is talking a lot of sense. And I think I just want to finish by one statement by saying, it just boils down to what is our political ideology.
Yes, because everything is in politics.
Yeah, because you have to, you know, when you have a political system that acts without thinking, without collegiate one-mindedness, this is what you have, because then you have businessmen who are trying to influence government spending, not for the sake of the people. So you have to ask yourself whether are you pro-people, are you pro-people? And also finally, I think when it comes to issues of technocrats and politicians, we have a system that has a politician at the top with technocrats in the middle and politicians in the periphery. And that's a very great danger, because if you are to be told to choose a college of professors to lead the country, or the first 100 people in the register, this is something we deal with in public policy, you would rather go with the first 100 names of people, because you must find the tempo, the heartbeat of the people and their priorities. That is what is going to work. And that is now the role of a politician, to get the technical argument, and Professor Dr. we've had this argument before. You get the technical argument of the experts, but also now you make the sound political decision that is long-term, but also gives you the currency to go with the people. That is actually the challenge.
Okay,
Just
I need to get out of this topic.
I agree with the politicians give the general picture. This is what we want for our people. This is the health system we want. This is the security system we want. Then now, it then goes to the professional. How do we achieve that? Now, when they have said that, you don't come back and browbeat them. Because they will not argue with you.
Yes.
They'll say, okay, if that is what they want, we know it won't work, but let them keep talking.
Go
And
ahead.
also, when you're given the options, now you make the political decision
Exactly.
based on the technical.
That's what he's saying, that they never listen
That's what
to.
he's
They never listen.
Yeah.
They
All
never
right,
listen.
I
But
need
also,
to
you
move
cannot
on.
be led by technocrats. They never have the mandate.
They never have an interest.
They don't- yeah.
All right.